Hello, I'm Catherine Irene, founder Thrive Beyond Cerebral Palsy Academy. I am your Thrive coach. I help parents with special needs children, especially those with cerebral palsy, to build confidence and to rebuild their identity. I help them move from a place of being overwhelmed to a place where they reclaim their peace. I help them increase and improve their child's mobility.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yes, we are live already, and we're about to start. All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring this invitation. And just as we promised, it's going to be a round table discussion. So if you are watching me right now, go call your friends, tell them, let them know, post in your WhatsApp group, your social media handles, and let them know that we are here today talking about the desire round table. Yes, it is very, very important that we let you know some things that are very important in this journey, and God has helped us. We have seasoned speakers that will be helping us to bring light, opening our eyes to things that we actually think are a burden. In this journey, it looks as if there is no hope, but I have proven results, results that are real, to let you know that you can be in this journey and still have peace. You can be in this journey and say bye to chaos. You can be in this journey and still have your mental health intact. Yes, it comes with a lot of sacrifices. There are work to actually do, but there is a way. Once again, for those that are meeting me for the first time, I am Catherine Irene. I'm the founder of Thrive Beyond Cerebral Palsy Academy. What is my mission and what do I do? I help parents of special needs children, especially those with cerebral palsy. I help them build confidence, help them reclaim their identity, and also help them gain financial freedom. As the journey in this sacred space, they parent not with chaos, but with clarity. As they are thriving, their children are also thriving. Once again, welcome to Desires Round Table. Yesterday, we celebrated Desires' 16th year birthday with her brother. And it is a time for me that is very special because I could remember when I was 16 years, I was able to leave my parents. I went to stay with my sister, a cousin of mine. And as her birthday was approaching, I asked myself, how can I make this memorable for her? And I told myself it is time to launch the Thriver Circle, a mentorship program that will help parents that are working in this journey to go through this journey with ease. Let their voices be heard. Yes, we are advocating for our children, but there is a way that we can come together, and at the end of it, we'll be able to change systems. We'll be able to talk to the government, and they'll be able to do something different. And in that circle, parents that are special, that have special need children, they were first themselves before they gave birth to that child. They have potential. They have knowledge. We don't need to be strict. We don't need to hide. We need to come together and form a force, a formidable force that will be able to change systems, change perspective. And that is why we are here. Today we have powerful speakers that will be teaching out in different topics. Yes, they'll be giving their best, their wealth of knowledge in today's event. We have the person of Adeola Folorunsho, we have Adesola Toyin, and we have Dr. Omonola. Dr. Omonola is an autism expert. She will be helping us to answer some questions that are bothering us. My good friend here, Adela, she's an expert when you talk about mental health that concerns parents with special needs. She's going to give you what you actually need. And sometimes maybe what you have not heard before. So sit tight and listen. And we also have Adesola. She's a seasoned lawyer. This woman has two children under the spectrum. Yes, her two children, they're under the spectrum. And she has been forging with life. She's no longer in that space where she wants someone to pity her. She's an advocate for children with additional needs in terms of their education. So we have today three speakers. The first one that will be on the stage is Adeola. I want us to welcome her this evening. If you are watching us, you can put your emoji. Let's see, because I don't want to waste our time. That is why I'm recapping, or I'm trying to say some things that will prepare us for what we'll be hearing this evening. Thank you once again. So, make welcome as I read the biography of Adeola Forunso. Just give me some time. So I'll quickly read. So we're going to continue. We don't have to waste our time. Yes, reading the biography of Adeola. Adeola Folorunsho is a visionary global health educator, is a global leader. She began her nursing career in Nigeria in 2010 before relocating to Canada to pursue advanced education. She earned a bachelor's degree in nursing science with a distinction from the University, yes, of Stockholm in 2015, a master's degree in health administration with distinction from the University of Regina in 2020, and a master's degree in international public health from United Kingdom. Her multidisciplinary expertise bridges health leadership, mental health advocacy, and international development. She's passionate about mental, paternal, and child mental health. She champions equitable health policies and culturally sensitive interventions that close the gap in global health disparities. Driven by a commitment to community impact, she founded Matamenta. Yes, this this is a non-governmental organization that is dedicated to advancing mental health awareness and well-being under her leadership. Mentamenta, Matamenta hosted the Beyond Baby Blues virtual summit in 2023. Yes, it is an initiative that reached over 250 Nigerians in the UK and in the US. This particular initiative provided free mental health screening and professional support. The organization currently is co-developing an innovative digital platform for mental and paternal postpartum depression, screening and education in Nigeria. Adiola advocacy extends to neurodiversity and autism inclusion. Yes, that particular project that she's developing has led her to come up with a program called the African Autism Project. This project unites experts from Nigeria, US, and Kenya to strengthen early screening. Yes, early screening, awareness, and policy frameworks for autism spectrum disorder. She's a certified autism spectrum disorder clinical specialist, and she continues to publish and speak globally on neurodiversity and inclusive health systems. Her humanitarian initiatives include a free dental outreach for over 150 children with autism in Iwo, Osun State, Nigeria, and the Mission Feed 100 nutrition program in Uganda for malnourished children in partnership with Africa Health Concerns. Recognized for her 16-year commitment to humanitarian service, Adeola was conferred an honorary doctorate degree in humanities and leadership in 2024, appointed United Nations Ambassador for Peace, and listed in the Marquis is Who in America in 2025. She remains an active certified health executive with the Canadian College of Health Leadership, a fellow of the Royal Society for Public Health, United Kingdom, and a fellow of the West African Institute of Public Health. In 2025, she was invited as a guest speaker by Johns Hopkins Center for Global Health, Women and Gender Equality to speak on equity in leadership, women of diverse racial background, shaping the future for global health. Let's make welcome Adeola Oronsho as she takes us on this topic. The topic is, do you know the topic she's taking us? Okay, emotional and mental health when caregiver break, healing, burnout, guilt, and silent exhaustion. Today, you will discover how to heal from burnout, how to manage guilt, and strengthen your emotional health so you can parent with peace, clarity, and resilience. Foloncho, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maya. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever part of the world you're watching. My name is Adeola Folorunsho. I will start with asking questions because through questions, it helps to open the mind of people. When was the last time you truly exhaled? Not just breathe, but you released the weight on your chest. When was the last time you said to yourself, I need rest, and actually permitted yourself to take it without guilt? For many of us, that is not even possible. That is not even happening because caregivers don't just rest. We carry, we love, we serve, we advocate, we plan, we protect. We are researchers, we are therapists, the comforter, the scheduler, the prayer warrior, the voice in meetings, the soft place to land. But behind all that love is silent exhaustion. The kind that doesn't cry out, but quietly says, I am doing everything I can. And somehow it feels as if it's not enough, despite you're doing everything. And then there is the guilt that comes in, that invisible companion that follows you all around everywhere. The guilt that whispers, if I rest now, am I not neglecting that child? You know, that question pops up. If I take a break now, am I not selfish? But here is the truth. It is not, today's conversation is not about that child. It's about that caregiver. It's about you who is taking care of that child because you deserve every means and every opportunity to rest. But here is the question. Do you even know what burnout looks like? Do you know what you even need to look out for? Do you know what it feels like when you're actually getting to the stage of burnout? Number one thing you see that burnout itself is in special needs parenting is emotional fatigue that is wrapped with love. So you're still giving that love, but it is wrapped, that's fatigue around with it. And then you begin to notice that you're having brain fog, guilt, numbness, irritability, you get angry, you're not being very productive anymore, you lack sleep. And then you keep going like a machine that never stops, because you're expected to deliver it all the time. And then the burnout itself helps you begin to look like, okay, I need to go to therapy, take this child to therapy, take this child to school, you have to navigate different medical facilities or programs just to make sure that you are just all in all. But the question is that you never stop. You keep going and keep going like a machine, as if that's the way you're being designed. And then you realize that you're caring, but nobody's caring for you. You're not caring for your soul. But don't forget to also know that when WHO defined health, it didn't say that health was just only physical, the absence of physical diseases or infirmity. It also mentioned the emotional part, the spiritual part, the social part, the mental part. So if you're ill, does not necessarily mean that you are in the hospital. Even when you're not taking care of your mental health, it is you're leading yourself to a point of breakdown, to a point of guilt, to a point of, it just affects you totally. And the guilt comes in as well, where there is that pressure to be stronger and always, you have to be grateful all the time because the society expects you to always deliver when you're taking care of a child with special need. So you are always on the run. And then the silent exhaustion. You're smiling silently, but you're struggling. You can love deeply and you still feel tired. And that is humanity. That is not failure. So if you feel tired, be okay to feel tired. Be okay to talk about it. Be okay to discuss it. It doesn't make you less of a human being. When it happens, acknowledge it. So don't feel bad about it. But here is the question again. Where is the guilt? Because I've seen a lot of times mothers, parents, loved ones raising children with special need. They're always feeling guilty if they ever took rest, if they ever decide to take a break for themselves. Have you ever asked yourself, where is the guilt coming from? What is the root cause of that guilt? Is the guilt coming from God? No, because a lot of times people feel guilty that I have a special need child because of my past life, because of the life I've lived in the past, because of sin, especially if in Africa, we have different mentality about why a mother or a family has a special need in the family, or because I've done something in the past. But I'm here to tell you, that special need child wasn't born into the family because you have done anything wrong. You have nothing to do with what happened to that child. So do not feel guilty about it. So that guilt is not coming. It is not God that made you to have that child, that special need child. Or it means that God wants to punish you, because we have heard of series of needs, series of things that people say out there, right? This guilt does not come. It's not something we are born with. It's not biological nature. It is what the society has pushed on us to make us feel that you have this child because you have done something wrong, right? So the guilt comes, from unrealistic expectation and cultural ideologies, societal expectations, or sometimes you think from your past life that's why you are having this guilt, and that's why you have this child that is born into that family, and God is punishing you. But there is a thing. You did nothing to have that child. In fact, you are even more stronger. You are even been trusted to take care of such a child, that special child. So I want you to see rest as a responsibility, meaning rest as a must, even in the midst of that guilt. I want you to silence that guilt because you have done nothing wrong, even if you took rest, even if you have a child who has a special need. So what I'm saying in essence is that self-care is important, not just for you, but for that child and for the family and for the society. It is needed because when you give yourself that self-care itself is the child care through you. That is the care the child is getting through you. So if you are broken, then tell me how the child is going to be taken care of, right? So be open to speak out the way you feel because you have done nothing wrong. And what if I don't silence the guilt? Because like I said, today is going to be a lot of questions. I want people to think through some of these questions. I'm not going to be teaching. It's just asking that question to intrigue us, to make us think deeply. What if I don't silence that guilt or burnout or that exhaustion? What if I don't silence it? What is going to happen? The cost of ignoring that emotional burnout, the cost of ignoring that emotional guilt or even that exhaustion is, here is the thing. Number one, unmanaged stress will lead to anxiety, it will lead to depression, and it will lead to emotional numbness. So the anxiety is there. You're no longer functioning at your best capacity. You're no longer yourself. And when we talk about self, yourself, to you play multiple roles at work, in the society, in the church, whatever organization that you belong. The expectation is that you should deliver. But when you have put yourself under too much stress, out of guilt, out of burnout, out of I have to deliver all the time, I should not stop, then you are working towards a pathway of anxiety, to have anxiety, to become anxious, and even to go into depression, because you are expected in your head. Something is telling you that you must deliver all the time. But don't forget, take a step back, breathe. You are a human being. You are not a machine. You are a human being that deserves to rejuvenate, to take a break, to take a moment to come back, a comeback moment for a stronger time, and the physical health and patient declines as well. Because when you don't take care of your mental health, out of guilt, out of emotional breakdown, your physical health is going to shift. It's going to shift and respond to that. And there's tendency that you will break down. And when you break down, the whole thing you're trying to build is going to be broken. So you can see how one thing leads to the other. In medicine, there's something we call the medicine wheel, where we have the physical, the emotional, the mental part, and the spiritual part and social part of human being. If one part of that person is not balanced, it's going to affect the whole aspect of you. So it is important that you take care of your mental health, even when you're raising a child with special need. And have that mentality that it wasn't you didn't cause anything, but it happens. But keeping that positive mindset is very important, right? And one thing you should also know is that when you decide to silence the burnout and not do anything about it, even that child could sense the burnout. The child could see that. Even if the child if the child is non-verbal, say the child is non-verbal autistic, for instance, or the child cannot even speak at all. The child can feel that the parents are stressed up. They can feel that, and that could even affect their overall mental health and well-being as well. So it's not about you. So I'm just saying, in essence, that whatever you do is not about you alone. It's about that child. It's about the family. It's about the society in totality. So that child can see it. But now I've said all this. Now, Adiola, you have said all this. So what should I do now? I have the guilt. I have the feeling of exhaustion. I'm stressed out. I thought maybe it was what I did in the past. That's why I have a child like this. So I have to keep going because the society expects me to keep going, to prove. And sometimes we always want to prove. You have nothing to prove to anybody. That's what I've come to tell you. You have nothing. Follow your pathway. Follow your pace. Because in that comes resilience, in that comes strength, in that comes that empowerment. You empower yourself, and the child can also take part of that empowerment and begin to see the positivity in life. So now what? Here are some of the strategies you can do if you ever feel this way. You're suffering from that guilt syndrome. Let me use the word guilt syndrome. That if you ever took a rest, then you're not a good mom, you're not a good dad, you're not a good friend or something. Number one thing is that acknowledge that you're tired. Acknowledge it. And that's okay. Acknowledge that you're tired, and that's okay. Right? And then there is something we call the ecological model of care. If you don't take care of your inner self, you cannot pour from an empty cup, because whatever you have from the cup is what you're going to pour and share, right? But when the cup is empty, you have nothing to deliver. So the care itself should start from you, and then from what you have from you, you can pass it on to your child, to that child that you need to take care of, and to the siblings, and even to the family as a whole. But when the main person, the core, which is you, is broken, then the question is again, what do you have to pass on? There's nothing, because you are broken already. So I want you to adopt the ecological model of care, whereby the care starts from you and then you can channel it out. And through that, there's going to be a lot of empowerment and resilience built from that, because the source itself, which is you, is not broken. And then the other thing is that you allow that. Just allow that. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to feel that whatever you're feeling. It's okay to have that feeling. It will come. But when it comes, allow therapists to take charge. Allow respite. There's something called respite care, whereby a child who has a special need or any other needs, just, where that child can be there for certain hours or certain days, and if you're on this webinar, this is another side hustle for wherever, on this webinar, you can actually start, having a respite care where you receive children of such, and that parents can have that moment to rest, right? So allow therapists do their job. Don't take everything on spirituality. Let the spirituality, it is God that has given the wisdom to the therapists, okay? It's God has given them the wisdom to deliver. So let God walk through the therapist as well, okay? While you're doing your spiritual path. So the therapists, allow them to do their thing. Call for support, peer support. So build networks. There are a lot of support out there. There are a lot of, organization. I don't want to use the word organization. There are a lot of groups out there when you should join. I've seen a lot of time people join some of these groups and they become anonymous. They hide themselves. They hide the child. They hide everything. Why do you have to hide? You didn't do anything. It's not about you. You did nothing. If only you come with the mentality that it's even their privilege to display your strength to the society and to the world, that you can handle this. So you don't have to hide. You don't have to feel bad that you have a child of such. And another thing is that accept the healing. Accept that healing is strength. Take it. If it happens, you feel that way, take it. Don't pretend about it. I know all the time when they ask the people, yeah, it is well. Yeah, proclaim positive things, right? But when you feel down, go to therapists. Take care of yourself, because that child, that family depends on you, okay? And then most importantly, that I want to mention, if I don't mention anything today, is that set boundaries. Set boundaries and protect boundaries. I've seen a lot of time where families are raising children of special need or exceptional needs. They expose themselves to environments that did not accept who they are, right? Wherever environments that cannot accept you, even your child should not be exposed to such environments. So if somebody tells you that you are what you're experiencing today is because of your past experience, or people are telling you, whether loved one, family, wherever that person is, take yourself out of that toxic environment. You don't have to speak too much British English, not too much grammar. When the energy is not positive, take yourself away from that angle, because we are so much, most times we expose ourselves to toxicity because we want to stay there, we want to feel alone, we don't want people to. Take yourself, because you are your number one fan. Take yourself, you're your number one therapist. Take yourself away. So set boundaries and protect the boundaries. Don't expose yourself to places that do not accept you, or places that will judge you because you are raising a child to a special need child. That's very important. And also use the opportunity of friends, loved ones. It's very important. That's the essence of friendship. And any friend in your circle that does not accept who you are, or make you look less of a human being or less of a mother, I don't know what you're doing around such people. You should take yourself off that environment straight. You don't hate them, but unfortunately, they do not fit into your pathway. So anybody who thinks that you're less of a human or less of a mom because you have a child with special needs should not be found in your environment, because it's very important you take yourself off that environment. No matter who they are, it could be your parents, it could be anybody that brings down your mental health because you have a special need child should never be found in your circle. You don't hate them, you love them, but unfortunately, they're not meant for you. because they're going to drain you. And when you're being drained, you can't take care of your child, right? Right. And then caregivers needs to heal, which I said earlier on. It's very important. So whatever you give out, whatever you have within you is what you can give out. That is very important. So when you don't have nothing to give, then when you yourself are drained, what do you want to give to the society? You drain yourself. You're being toxic. People begin to see that you're becoming irritable. And then at the long run, you are not who you are anymore. You are a shadow of yourself. So what I've said in essence is that I've not even mentioned money. Neither have I even mentioned anything like medication, because the first thing is that a lot of people want to jump into medication, right? And just start to, heal themselves. But these are practical stuff. Accept, admit, and make sure that it's okay the way you feel. Those feelings are valid, but don't let them take the whole of you. Reach out for support. It's very important. And then because of time, ma'am, how many minutes we have left?
Your time is your time is up. Your time is really up. No, we are just enjoying it. We just want to go.
Okay, so my time is up, but I'll just say one thing for sure. Finally, I would say please recognize the burnout early. It's very important. Guilt is not love, so release it. Guilt is not love. Release it. Rest. Rest is very important, right? Set gentle boundaries and protect your peace and heal intentionally for you and that child. So thank you very much. It's not about medication. It's about being strategically there for yourself.
Oh, thank you very much, Ma. I don't know why I'm getting like echo, or can you hear? It looks as if after you talk, it comes up again. I don't know why, but we really enjoyed the section. Your section was wild, and everybody just saying thank you for imparting them and all that. And I believe that what you have just said is nothing but the truth. What circle are you? What kind of people are around you? For your mental health to be in a place where you don't need to parent in chaos, you need to be in the right circle. When I thought about the tribal circle, this was exactly what I wanted to build. A place where you can come and vent, a place where people understand their journey. Like today, I saw someone come into the group and she just dropped on the group, and she was like, "Oh, I did not sleep yesterday. I had I did not have anything to eat. My children, they don't have anything to eat." And she just dropped it on the group. And this is a group where we have different people. You don't, everybody is going through a lot. Do you have people that are actually in your circle that you can cry to? So I have to have a chat, and I told her, I said, do you think you'll be able to get help that way? In that particular group that you are, is there anybody you know? Is there anybody that's close to you? I said, but you know me. You can reach me. Why didn't you reach me? He said, oh, I'm very sorry and all that. I said, but do you know that if you are in a circle where everybody knows what you are going through, everybody is in the same kind of place, the same journey, we understand, we are doing stuff together. If it's business, I'm doing a business, you are doing a business, and we come together, why can't we share? Because one, there's trust, there's shared value, we're on the same mission. So it's just the same thing. That is what we are talking about here. I want to thank you very much, because I believe some people have questions, which when the time comes, I will just call you up again to just throw more light on those questions. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Yeah, so we have yeah, I'll bring on the stage now Dr. Omodolani. Yes, she's the person to come on stage. I just want to thank everyone that's here. Amazing. I can see you are enjoying it, because it is nothing and nothing but the truth that that we are giving.
Hello, ma'am. I have slides. Can I want to upload
Yes,
my slides?
yeah, you can
I have
upload from
slides
your end. Yes, you can upload.
on my end. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Let me just upload my slides. Okay. Alrighty. Just coming up now. Just keep everyone ready. Okay. I can upload from my okay. I present from here. Mm,
So while you do that, I'll just go through your yeah, I'll just go
okay.
through your biography.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right. So we have Dr. Monola who is coming up next. Yes, I'm going to be reading her biography. It's really funny today how this whole thing is just echoing.
Was that
Just
going?
yeah.
Try from here.
No, not from your
Are you sure
end.
it's
It's
not
like it's from yeah, it's from the streaming. Yeah, it's from the streaming. Okay, let's go. I'm going to be reading your biography right now. We
okay.
have on the stage right now Dr. Monola Okeowo. She'll be taking us on therapy and delayed development, progress at home, turning everyday activity into growth opportunity. She's going to be teaching us on how to turn simple daily routines into therapy moments that build mobility, that builds communication, that builds confidence and steady progress at home. Yes, that is what she'll be taking us on. Now let's listen to her biography. Dr. Monola is an autism expert, a global speaker, and the founder of Autism Renewed. She's an international recognized autism expert and global speaker. She has dedicated her career to equipping families, educators, and caregivers with the tools that they need to support children with special needs, especially those on the autism spectrum. With a compassionate heart and years of clinical experience, Dr. Monola brings both evidence based knowledge and real world wisdom to every conversation. Her work has impacted families around the globe, empowering parents to move from confusion to clarity and from fear to fierce advocacy. She's joining us tonight and she's going to be helping us to tell us how we can turn daily activities, everyday activities into therapy, growth, and opportunity. Let's make welcome. And before I go, when you see me telling Desire, do this, Desire, you have to talk, Desire, do it like this. I am learning from her. I've taken some of her courses and they are wow. If you have a child that is having delayed speech and all that, she's an expert at that. So let's make welcome Dr. Omola. You have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. You say I have 15 minutes. I'll try. I have so much to say.
Even Dr.
Oh my god.
Adela, she was not able to use 15 minutes. They were enjoying it. So let's go. Yeah, let's
I'll
go.
try. Can you see my slides? Can you add my slide from your end? I think it will work from my end.
You just send it to me on WhatsApp. I should be able to do that.
I've already uploaded it. It's for you to show in the stream.
Okay.
Maybe the
Okay.
it's already on the StreamYard.
Okay. Let me.
Just for you to show.
Just give me some time. I've added it.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try. Hello, everyone. Good morning from here. I want to appreciate Mrs. Catherine. I'll call you Coach Catherine for the privilege and opportunity. All the Thrive Beyond Cerebral Palsy tribe. I see you before. I see everyone in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you for the privilege and platform. And happy birthday to your wonderful twins and the 16 years of God's faithfulness. I know that greater days are ahead in Jesus' name. And the Lord continue to renew your strength in the name of Jesus. Thank you, everyone. I will try. If you give me 15 minutes, I have so much to say. Even this slide, I struggle to just compress so much into this slide, but I'll just see how I go because I have so much to say. And I can't even, if I do 2 hours, I'm sure I can't even finish the topic in 2 hours. But anyway, let's go. I'll just try 15 minutes. I'll just try to highlight. So I'll take questions at the end. So if you have any questions, we'll go at the end. So, okay, let's go. So I'm going to be talking about progress at home, turning everyday activities into growth opportunities. She has said a little bit about me. I'm not going to go into my bio. So as a way of introduction, one thing I always like to set the foundation when it comes to the concept of therapy and treatment. So people who have children with special needs, developmental delay, when it comes to therapy, one of the foundational things I want parents to understand is the concept of therapy. Concept of therapy when it comes to helping a child with a delay is different from treatment. Treatment is that you have malaria or you have cough or whatever, they prescribe medication to you. You take one tablet 3 times a day or twice a day for 5 days or 1 week, whatever. With the fact that when you take the tablet in the morning, tablet stays in your body to work, right? Till your next dose. When it comes to therapy, that's not the concept of therapy. If parents understand that, you understand why I emphasize that therapy must be taken beyond the therapy room into the home or even beyond your therapist. Because I know some of you have therapists who come to the house beyond the therapy time. Why? Because therapy is the concept of practice. When a child has a form of therapy, whether it's mobility therapy, whether it's speech, whatever, the therapy does not stay in the child's body like a medication and is working till the next session. So that's why if they say a child does therapy 1 hour a week, it's most likely, you may not see as much improvement because for therapy, you need a lot of input because the concept of training is the concept of you're trying to build a skill. Every delay or challenge a child has, when they are doing therapy, they're trying to build a skill. Because when a child builds the skill, then the child overcomes that challenge or moves to the other level. For a child that cannot walk, a child needs to build all the skills, all the muscle, strength and tone and everything they need to be able to walk. So you can't, if you don't have enough input, as much as quality is important, quantity also matters. Quality is important, quantity matters. If you have quality without quantity, you may not see as much difference. So that's why you might notice that maybe your child has been doing a particular therapy for years. You need to check the quantity because therapy is a concept of practice. You cannot learn how to play soccer if you play 1 hour a week, even 1 hour a day. Most soccer players do more than that. So I'm setting that foundation so that way you understand as a parent, you're more than a caregiver. You're a therapy partner. You have to be able to engage the child with everyday life such that whatever is done in the therapy room, you can carry it home. You give the child more opportunities of learning. That's the way the child will be able to consolidate and mastery will take place. Until mastery takes place, a child cannot really move beyond a particular milestone to the next level. A child must be able to gain mastery to be able to use the skill in every setting. I'm just setting that foundation because I may not get to say it, but I feel that's a very, very important foundation, such that if you have any therapy or anything you're offered, you need to check it that way. Even if you can't get enough hours, how do you bridge the gap? That's what we're talking about today. That's where you come in. You may not get as much hours, but you may need to bridge the gap by transferring what is done in therapy or therapy time, convert it to everyday life, so that the child can have more opportunities of practice, so that they can gain mastery. So as a parent, you're more than a caregiver. You are a co-therapist, you're a growth partner, you are architect of your child's daily development. Every moment you spend with your child, you hold an opportunity for meaningful progress. So therapy doesn't only happen in clinics, it happens in your kitchen, bathroom, playground, everyday life. So today we're going to explore some daily routines that can be opportunities for growth. Okay? So as a form of foundation, before talking about the activities that we need to do, I always like to set this foundation, a very important point. You need to be able to create a functional home environment. Okay? It's not enough to be, before you start talking about what you are doing in the home, the home environment is very important to be able to support your child's development. It's not just what you want to come and do. Okay, I have so many things that are here. I'll just, because I want to say everything, I don't want to read from the slide, but I understand what I want to say, so I'll just talk about it so you get the concept. So the concept is that you must have a functional home environment. What is a functional home environment? It's an environment that is suitable for your child. I know when we say your child, that means you have to be able to individualize your child. Now we're talking about special needs as a whole, not just cerebral palsy or autism. So I'm going to just speak generally using some specific examples. Some people may have different peculiarities, okay? So a child that has cerebral palsy and has mobility issues now, you need to have a home environment that is functional and suitable for that child. You need to have space. Has cerebral palsy and has mobility issues now. Can you mute? Home environment that is functional and suitable for that child. Okay. Hello? I think you mute your own mic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think you mute your own mic. I'm echoing. I think you should mute your mic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think you should mute your own mic. I'm echoing. I think you should mute your mic. Can you hear me? Okay. Mrs. Catherine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think you should mute your own mic. I'm echoing. Your mic on the StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm echoing. Okay, so so for that child, okay, let's even start with the environment. Environment has to do with location, for example. If you have a special needs a child, you need to be conscious of where you live. If you have a special needs child, you need to be conscious of I won't advise you stay even in story. I don't even advise people that have children. I mean, people that know me know that all these story buildings, 4th floor, council flat. I mean, I'm saying I don't advise it. How much when you have a child who has special needs, because it's very risky. Also, even in environment, do you have river near in your suburb or in your county? Because there's a lot of stories of children wandering and drowning. So you need to be conscious of that. Even the environment. Are you staying in a swampy place? All those kind of places. I won't advise, of course. Maybe based on your budget or things like that. But you need to factor those things. The environment where you choose to either rent or build, very important. Then the house itself. Before we now talk about even your own house or your apartment. How functional is the place? So you need to think about that. If you have a child who has sensory issues, some children that have autism, sensory processing disorder, ADHD, they tend to have sensory issues. So that means that house must not be hyper stimulating. When I mean hyper stimulating, some of these houses, they have all these colors that look like you're in disco place. Some children don't do well with those kind of light. They're sensitive to it. So you need to be conscious that your house is not hyper stimulating. You don't have noise. You have some people you have speakers that like to play music. Some children may be sensitive to it. So you need to make sure the environment is suitable for that child. Also, even structurally, there needs to be space. All this, your center table, what kind of materials you use for the flooring. All those things are very important. Talking about the functionality of the home. Also, even the non-physical functionality of the home. Your home must not be a toxic environment. What words come out of that home? Is there fighting? You and your husband are always bickering, issues, and all kind of things. That is a toxic environment. Even though you may not see it, but you know that toxicity causes stress, and stress, affects children with special needs. I mean, because when you release all those stress hormones in their body, can cause them to start having all this when they're having meltdown and things like that. Those could be some of those reasons. So the functionality of your home, both physical and non-physical, must be a home filled with love, peace. Everyone in the home must be an inclusive home, and that's what it means to be inclusive. Inclusive is not just in school, even in the home. The structure of the home, the function of the home, you need to factor the things that could be dangerous to the child or the things that will help and enable the child. Now, when I talk about resources, so you need to understand the child's needs. Now, I've spoken generally now. I talk about children with sensory issues. You need to reduce noise, harsh lights, all these, your disco lights, you need to remove them. Okay? Children who are sensory seeking and who like to move around too. What kind of toys are you equipping the house with? Toys, books, those kind of resources that can help them to play. So those children will do well, things like trampoline, even mini trampoline, swings, things that encourage movement. You have, preferably you have a compound, there's sand, they can play with sand because those sensory things help them. They can do a lot of water play, all those kind of things. You need to do that. Then, because if you're talking about development, people don't even know that things like all those swings, because movement is one of the things that builds the brain. So you have a child with mobility issues, all these monkey bars, all those things are very good because they build the brain, they build cognition, they build learning, they help with focus. So those kind of activities that encourage movement, okay, just ensure that it's in a safe place. Don't say, if your child is always jumping on your couches, that means that environment, you have not created environment. So channel it, don't tell the child to stop. Get a trampoline, get something that the child can jump on. Get all these there are all these swings that you can hang on the what do they call them again? All this halac, or I can't remember what they call it again. They can they can hang it on the ceiling. It has like a cloth like this, or all this egg chair. The child can spin around. All those kind of things. Get those kind of things. Okay. Then I talk about structure and safety. Then emotional. I talk about that emotional climate of the house. No toxicity. No, the kind of words. Be conscious of it. You and your husband especially, because you know that your child is a seed from you. And let me tell you something. Anything that brings disunity between you and your husband, it only allows the devil to strike your child the more. So you cannot be in disagreement and say you are praying for your child. You guys are not one. So it's like you're just contradicting everything you're doing. Okay, you're praying and you're acting and everything you're doing will be working together as one for your children. Okay, now let's talk about power of everyday routines. Of course, like I said, I'm going to speak generally here because we're not talking about specific diagnosis here, but something to apply in everyday. But for you to get the concept that everyday interaction with your child is an opportunity, for therapy, for interaction to reinforce learning. Okay, so I said the secret to sustainable progress is not just adding more therapy, it's recognizing that your child's daily routines are rich with learning opportunities. So when you embed therapeutic goals into activities your child is engaging in every day, you can create repetition with context. So that way, mastery can take place. They can be able to potentiate the skills and generalize. Okay, so it's not just about doing the therapy. It's about making it a daily life in your daily interaction. So I gave some examples here now. Your meal time. So the first thing before I talk about this is that have a structure. That's the foundation. Have a structure. How you can do it is your morning routine. Create your morning routine structure. Create your night routine structure. Then you can create the day. So morning routine, depending on the age of your child and the peculiarities, what time do you wake up? What are the activities you engage in the morning? Are they for? Maybe when you wake up, brushing, laying their bed. Remember these activities, even if the child cannot do it, you still be doing it with the child or for the child. Everything you want the child to do, if the child cannot do it, you do it for the child. Because as the child builds the skill, the child understands the routine, and the child will eventually be able to do it for them. So don't think that, oh, you're talking about my child, I cannot do anything now. No. Everything you want your child to eventually do, you do it for the child, no matter how long you have to do it. Okay? You do it for the child till the point that the child can do it. Okay? And of course, I know that we have children across different abilities and capacity. So I will just talk generally, and you, of course, be able to fit into your situation. But don't think anything does not apply to you. Anything you want your child to eventually do, even if it's going to be in the next 5 years, You do it for them. You create the routine, because the routine that you have created, that the children will begin to, as they build skills, be able to do. So create your morning routine. What are the things you want your child to do in the morning? So have those 4 things and now be consistent with them. So, because if you want to incorporate engaging the child and using those moments as a therapy session, you need to be consistent. Remember, I said consistency. You need frequency, you need intensity, you need consistency. And for you to be consistent, you need a routine, because the routine will help you to measure at the end of the week. Now you can check this week and this week. Did I do this thing for 3 times a week? I can check because I know my routine. So have your morning routine. It's easy. And have your night routine as well. Then the day, you can walk around it, because sometimes the day, depending on your day, maybe you walk, you go to market today, you go to church today, can be a bit dynamic. But if your morning and evening routine, if you get those ones right, you can now fix your the midday routine and you get that right. Okay. So your night routine, for example, too, have your night routine. And once you have that night routine, what time do you go to bed? Is it 8 o'clock? If it's 8 o'clock, then ensure that from like 6 o'clock, you start prompting your child. So don't just, because most children especially have trouble with transitions, don't just say, child is playing now, it's time to go to bed, it's time to go and eat. Don't do that. Any next transition phase, give the child at least 30 minutes or 1 hour prompting the child. If the child is going to bed by 8 o'clock, from 6 o'clock, it could be like, no more playing outside. Everybody comes inside. From that 6 o'clock, it could be like, okay, clean up your toys. Then start prompting the child. By 7 o'clock, you're going to go have a shower. Don't think, oh, whether your child can speak or they cannot speak, they can hear. Talk to your child with who you believe you want your child to be. Just get that in your, I don't want to just think about it like that. Talk to your child with who you see them to be, not what you think that they cannot hear, they don't understand. Don't do that. Okay? So start prompting the child. By 7 o'clock, you're going to have a shower. After 7, by 8 o'clock, you're going to bed. You're telling the child, you have 30 more minutes, 15 more minutes. You see that with time, the child will understand it. If you need to get an alarm clock, fine. If you need to get a wall clock or whatever, you can do it. Then your routines. So now I'll not talk about those routines, but I'm saying that it's important to have that structure, because that's what will make the interaction work. So now meal time. So meal times can be things used to engage in language. Okay, so language, use descriptive word. One thing is that when you are talking to your children, everything you are doing, the way sports commentators, the way they talk, they run commentary all the time. That's how you're going to be doing. Anything you're doing, be describing it. Use language. Don't use baby talk. Don't use say the real words. Use rich language. Then try to be consistent with your terminology, depending on the level of understanding or language of your child. So if your child has very minimal language, if he's hungry, if he's eat, whatever, use those words. Then also, you can also build motor skills, encourage them to do things. So even if they cannot do things, give them a chance. You understand? Let them try, things like that. Let them try, talk to them, ask them, you want this or you want that? Talk to the child. Don't say the child is not listening, is not replying me. Don't do that. You need to do a lot of input before you expect output. Then bad time to the same. Then you're doing, be describing it. So if you are describing it and there's a routine, the child already knows the routine to follow. With time, you start allowing the child to do it, depending on the child's ability, of course. Okay. If the child has, maybe they can use their hands, even if they can't use their legs, you can get a bathroom chair, you can get a bath chair, let them sit down and start doing something and start trying, start washing from their leg or doing something, or even if they can even point, even if they cannot do, you say, okay, where is next leg here? What are we washing it? What are we doing? You see, the child start pointing. Or child, so even if they can't point, sometimes they can use their eyes to turn to the place. That's the communication. They're trying to locate it. If they cannot use their hands yet, or their mobility is not yet strong, depending on the child's ability. So depending on your child's ability, the point is that if the child cannot respond to you, still talk to the child. So the most important thing is that break down whatever you want to do into steps and be consistent with your steps. So if you are bathing, as simple as bath time is, if you're going to brush before you shower, before you use the toilet, have the routine be the same. And when you're going to shower, are you going to shower from head down, up? Use one, so that you're consistent with that routine. When you're consistent, you start allowing the child to do it. If the child can, if they cannot, as simple as can they point, What are we doing next? What is this next? To just, prompt them till they're able to understand and follow through. Then you start allowing them to do it. So like I said, depending on your child's ability, because I know here we have children with different abilities, but no matter what your child's ability is, just think about it. What are the simple things that I can begin to do? Even your child can even just communicate with their eyes. You can use pictures. If your child can communicate with just their eyes, you start using pictures. When you use pictures, what do you do? When you show the child something and ask them a question, watch where their eyes will go, even if they can't point. Watch where their eyes will look. Do you want red or yellow? If the child's eyes, just look at the eyes. If the child's eyes go in one direction, it's likely that's what they're trying to tell you. Even if you think they're not saying anything, just pick one and say, oh, it's blue. The consistency, the child will understand what you're expecting and they'll be able to follow through. Okay? So, of course, playtime as well. You can also use that. Okay, I've talked about communication. I've talked a lot about communication. So you narrate everything you do, you use simple words, you offer choices. Always talk to your child with who you see them as. Very important. Talk to them with who you see them as. If you keep expecting them to reply, they didn't respond, honestly, you get discouraged. Okay? Even communication, things like reading too. Read aloud. Read to your children. Don't read baby books. Cat sat on the rat. Don't read those kind of books. Read real rich books. All these frog turned to prince, all those kind of books. Don't read those kind of books. All those Disney books, scrap all those kind of books. Read books that have things that a child can interact with, because the goal of reading books is this: I want my child, when they engage this content outside, they can interact with it, it can make sense. But all these princess, whatever, Disney, whatever, they don't make any sense. They're doing magic and jumping up and down. Doesn't make any sense. So don't read those kind of books to your children. Read rich books. Don't say they don't understand. They understand. And you need to be consistent. Rich language. Read and read and read. As simple as bedtime routine. Bedtime can be a time to read. So if you have a routine like that, every night, bedtime, keep reading to the child. And those of us that are Christians here, read the Bible to your child. Raw Bible. I'm not saying children Bible. Get your child a Bible. NKJV, KJV. I'm not saying go and buy children. They can buy children Bible for it. Get your child a normal Bible. Read normal Bible. Read the word normal Bible. Read it to them. Have their own Bible and read to them. Normal word of God. Read it to them. Okay. I just said I should drop that. Then so read to them. So reading, those are kind of daily interactions. Daily, anything you're doing, you're describing. You are describing. But remember, come to the child's language level. If it's one word, talk to child in one word syllable. But everyday opportunity, shower time, dress time. So what are the things you are doing in this time? Break down the activity into steps. In your mind, you already know the steps you want to follow. Then each step, talk to the child. When you're talking, be loud. Use expression. Children, why do you think they like cartoons? Those cartoon characters, they're very loud and they're very expressive. So when you're talking to your child, use the expression. So you're making it easy for the child to be able to read your lips. Use the expression. You understand? Then give choices. Do you want your blue shirt or red shirt? If they point, they point. Even if they don't point, if they turn their eye to one, that's it. Keep doing it like that. Keep modeling. While we are also building skills, of course, through interaction. What other things are we? I talked about communication here. I'm just trying to rush out to this. But anyway, let me just do the next. Okay, like I said, building independence. Focus on building skills. Like I said, any delay. Think about what is the skill that is missing that I need to build. So when it comes to even mobility, things that you can use to encourage mobility. Like I said, movement. Movement is one of the things that builds the brain. Movement is one of the things that helps even brain development. It helps with oxygenation. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah? Yes, please. I'm in a class now. Okay. Okay. So things like My son has distracted me. Things that encourage rock climbing, monkey bars. Some of those things you can do them in your house. Swings, trampoline, all the things that encourage movement, they help to build the brain. Of course, depending on child mobility, safety is very important. So I'm not saying you should compromise safety, but don't keep your child in a wheelchair and say they cannot move. Take them outdoor, go for nature walks, go to parks. Depending on your schedule, you need to restructure your schedule and find that time. I know some people in UK, Canada, whether it's cold, there are indoor playhouses. Go to indoor playhouses. Be intentional. Go to Google and say, what are places that can take children? Can you put it as special needs that is safe? They'll put places for you. Expose the child to the world. Do you understand? Go to nature walk, go to train station, go to fire station. Just make sure that environment is safe. There's sensitive noise, there's no noise there. Fire station, this one, that one. Expose the child and use those interactions as learning, because anything you're teaching a child is not for isolation. Language is not so that they will use language in a therapy room. Language is meant to use in everyday life, right? You want to build their understanding so that they can communicate in daily life, right? You want to build social skills so that they can have social skills in daily life, right? You want to build mobility so that they can walk. So why do you do therapy and they just stay in the house and they don't move, and there's no form of, exposing them to outdoor and stretching them and things like that? So also the emotional regulation as well, things that I can do to emotional regulation. So teach them breathing exercises, and you have to also regulate. There's something called co-regulation, not just self-regulation. Self-regulation is you want the child to regulate. Co-regulation is that you have to be regulated, your child has to be regulated. Most times your child feeds off your own energy. Most times, so if you are anxious, the child becomes anxious. So you model emotional regulation to the child. So if you want to do breathing exercises, model it to the child. If you are upset, how do you react or how do you respond? Those are the things you model. So encourage activities that build, independence. Carry everybody along that are your parenting partners or people around you. Everybody should be on board. Everything that you're doing, little things. If you introduce chores, those are opportunities to build skills. And as they're washing, you're talking, expose them to different activities, things like sports, because sports build social skills, helps build interaction. Also playing instruments, very good. Instrument, things like guitar, piano, and all those string instruments or piano, not really drums, don't really do drums. Because what do? They build, the cognitive ability, they help with focus. Because for you to play an instrument, you need to deploy all your senses. So don't worry that the child won't learn it. I don't like my clients come and say, my child can't do it. Have you exposed the child to it? So don't tell me a child cannot do something if you have not given the child a chance. Give the child a chance for things like swimming as well. Swimming, expose the child to swimming. You may just need to get maybe an instructor who is skilled in maybe special needs or things like that. Or if you have to go there, you chaperone with the child and at least help the child. So things like that. So those are daily life interactions. So therapy is not that you just sit down with the child. Now we are doing therapy now. You could have those kind of sessions as well. Maybe you are reading, you're doing flashcards, you're doing toy interaction, that's there on the table. But everyday life, you must create everyday routines in your daily life. You're in the kitchen, you're in the bathroom, you go out, all those interactions, they're going to give the child opportunity to practice. And the good thing is that if you have a therapist already, you work together with them, whatever they are doing, be thinking, how can I replicate this outside and practice? So when you now come back, you can give them feedback. I tried this, I tried that, I'm experiencing this obstacle. Because if not, whatever they are doing in therapy room, it's not supposed to stay in the therapy room. It's for everyday life. Yeah, I hope I'm saying time to rest. Okay, yeah, I think I'm good. So I said, if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, it's okay. Start from where you are. Don't feel overwhelmed. It can be a lot. You don't have to be a perfect parent. You just need to be a parent that is willing to learn, willing to evolve. Okay, just need to use your daily life more in interaction. Remember, individualize your child. What are your child's unique needs? What areas do they have challenges and need support? That will determine the kind of intervention that you streamline to. That will determine how you create the home environment. Home environment is very important. A home environment that is inclusive, that is functional, that is supporting with the right resources. Then you come into all your interventions. So are you dealing with communication challenges? If you're dealing with communication challenges, you need to be able to talk to the child. Everyday interactions. Every time you're talking to the child, describing everything you're doing. Have flashcards. You can do visual schedules. Have flashcards. So you don't need chandelier, you don't need artwork on your wall. Put schedule, visuals, paintings and different things. So have other things like that, paintings, because paintings will help to build the creative mind of the child, to expose to things like that. Remember, remove things that are like screen. I know there's some people who say my child learns on the screen, but I don't know. Let's not get into that conversation. Anything your child can learn off the screen, it's better for them to learn it outside of the screen. Okay, of course, maybe your child is using an AAC device. That's a different thing. It's different from the concept of screen, because the concept of screen is that the child is not interacting with what they are doing. AAC device that the children use to communicate, the child is using it as a tool to communicate. That's different from screen. Screen is that you're watching cartoon and just consuming. You're not interacting with what is going on there. So that's different from using an AAC device. So, but we'll not get into the conversation of screen. So the most important thing is that's what it is. So find what you're going to use. Create opportunities of exposure for the child. And the child is not talking or is not working, it doesn't mean they cannot learn how to cook. Teach safety, expose them to different hobbies, pottery, painting, sewing, knitting. Give them a chance. Chess, board games. And let me tell you something, anything you're teaching your child, the first principle is stimulation. You may need to stimulate for 2 years before the child will get it. Stimulation. So stimulation means exposure. If you're buying puzzle, buy like 50. If you have not bought 100 puzzle, you have not even started. Before you tell me that child is not doing puzzle, buy 100, buy, keep buying, expose everywhere, in the car, in the toilet, everywhere, you are exposing everywhere, stimulating. That's what stimulation is. Exposing it, keep exposing it. After the child is consolidating. That might take another 1-2 years before the child will pick it. So most of the time, when you say child is not picking it, no. Sometimes you need enough stimulation. Remember, frequency, intensity, duration, consistency. So you need to stimulate and stimulate and stimulate and stimulate. So that's why if you create a routine, it will be easy for you. Even when you fall, you are tired, you go back to it again. So you need to stimulate sometime before the child will consolidate it. That's why sometimes you notice that your child will just spring out something. It looks like, they were being consolidating over time. But that time just sprang out. So if you give up, sometimes you have cut it short. Okay. I didn't get into, we didn't talk about learning today. So I guess, so remember, observe the child, not embed one thing at a time. So build it up, outline the things you need to do, then build it and stack it up and be consistent with it. Then remember to celebrate progress. You can journal your journey, be grateful for little things. Always find something to be grateful for in all your journey. And remember, in everything you do, speak positive, because your speaking is as much important as your prayer. If you are praying and you're speaking wrongly, then you're canceling things. Then ensure the people that you have your what do you call it, your tribe, people that are working together with you, both the professionals, the community, everybody must be aligning with you. Anybody that is not aligning and speaking the same words of faith with you, whether they're the best professionals, I think you need to be out of there. So everything must align, because you cannot be speaking, praying, and canceling. So every day, life is full of hidden opportunities. When you're brushing teeth, eating breakfast, playing, bedtime routine, they can all become therapy when done intentionally. You don't need to have a perfect home or a perfect plan. Just a heart that is willing, a home that is nurturing, and consistency in small steps. So remember, progress doesn't happen in leaps. It happens in layers. So it happens in layers. So it might be happening under, but you may not see it. So one routine, one word, one smile, you are shaping your child's future. All right. Okay. I can't remember. Let me take off this. I can't remember on the last thing I wrote here. The banner. Mrs. Cap, let me take off the banner. Please let me take off the banner.
Okay.
Okay, so you're already enough. Okay, yeah, you're already enough, and your children are blessed to have you. So, thank you. I tried.
Thank you.
I was trying to run. I like to compress so many things into this slide, but anyway, thank you, everyone.
We'll come again.
Yeah. You can't come onto my stream. Okay? Come.
Thank you, Dr. Monola. This is so explosive. We are grateful. We are grateful. We are grateful. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And everybody is just like, oh, wow. You've just given everything that we just need to hear. Again, we are asking, which circle are you? Are you in a place where there's no routine? Or you're in a place where you think all these things need to happen automatically? You are praying and you are not doing the work. How can that work? We have said so many things today, and what we need to do is to put them into practice. You see, I've been in this journey for a very long time, and I know how all these things work. Until I started learning and putting them into practice. When you talk about consistency, you talk about doing things on a regular basis, have a routine in the morning, what your child will do, they're exposing them. That's the only way you begin to see results. And that was what actually helped with my daughter Desire. I was doing things just the way I like, or the way I see other people do it, until I started to learn. That is when I see progress. Not just ordinary progress, but progress that is visible. People can see it, people can testify to it. You understand? So we actually need a balance. We are trying to help people regain that balance, give them clarity in terms of finance. They will have financial stability, and also they will be growing in faith. They will regain emotional peace and inner strength. Burnout will be reduced. We are putting structures, and these structures are something that you can incorporate into your home, and you find joy in your home. There are caregiving tools that you cannot do without. If you are in this journey, you need to be very, very careful. Sometimes we say, "Oh, we are super women, we are powerful people." People tell us, "Oh, you are super, you are just doing well." Inside of you, you are dying. Inside of you, you know that actually I really need help. The help you need might just be structure. That is why we are creating the Trevor Circle. It's a mentorship program where people come into it and will bring guest experts in different sectors on therapy, on mindset, and even in finance investment. What we have heard today just a tip of the iceberg. Because you know why? In this journey, you need someone that will hold your hand so that you become accountable. Let's forget about what we see on social media. The rating is in the house, what you do. We're talking about the right environment. Not just stated it. The environment where you are raising your child. You don't need to have everything, but you can create that environment for yourself. We know these excuses are there. But one thing I know is that excuses are cheap. Those that make it, they are not wise. You can navigate through this thing. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Monola, for giving us your time for putting this together. I know it was very short for you, and you tried to squeeze everything inside. I believe we'll have more time. So I'm very grateful, and people out there, they are grateful. If there is any question, I know you are by the side listening also. I'll be bringing you up also to answer those questions. We have questions that we've collected before now, which I believe we can leave them out and you will see just on this aspect that you just talked about. Thank you very much. I'm so
Thank you,
grateful.
everyone. Thank you, Coach Catherine. Well done. You're doing amazing. Thank you, everyone. I'll just be in the background. You can call me if you need me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do. Wow. Who is excited? Who is excited? Tell me if you are excited to be here. Oh, yeah, come. So before we go on to the last speaker for today, I want to present to you my beautiful Desire. Yes, it is all about Desire's birthday. And because 16 is so important to me, because I am launching the Trival Circle. People that are ready to come in, people that are ready to make a difference. You want a place where you get clarity, a place where you can be able to vent yourself, things that are in your head. You want to say them out. You want to be accountable. You want to get it right. I will tell you the truth. What has helped me is what I'll be unleashing in that Trival Circle. No matter how hard you think it is, there's a way. There's a way. And that is why, as I put up this program, look for a way to come in. Because you know why? Your life will not remain the same. It will not. If God could help me to this stage, then I know it can do it for anybody. And the Thrive Beyond Cerebral Palsy navigation method is what I'll be unleashing. There will be weekly faith. The curriculum part is what I'm trying to say. We'll focus on faith, access to community of thrivers. You have free tools and resources, journals, planner, checklists, and we'll be having guest speakers that will be speaking in the sessions, especially on therapy, mindset, research, and finance investment. What if you are no longer there? What will happen to your child? What if you are no longer there? What will happen to your child? So I have before us today Desire. She's here with me. I just want her to just greet people and say hello. And I also have our twin brother here. He will also greet people. Desire, can you come and say hello to those that are watching us tonight? Yeah. There, say hello.
Hi.
If you can see Desire, let me see you. Put it in the comment section. There, say hi.
Hi.
Divine, come. This is hello Desire and Divine. Yes, this is Desire's twin brother. You can see him. Yeah, they say hello Desire. Divine, can you greet them and say hello? What do you have to say?
Good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone.
So what do you have to say to them as
Um,
we're celebrating your 16th birthday and we are launching the Tribe Verse Circle mentorship program? So Zaya, let Divine say something.
good evening, good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you for my mom giving me like the privilege to be here and like they consider I'm like proud of everyone for like trying their best. I know it might be like struggling, it might be hard, it might be painful to like go through what you are going to, but like God is here and like God will help you. God will help you. Yeah, that's what.
All right, thank you very much. So they will have to leave me now. Desire is greeting you. Divine is greeting you. He's saying hi. All right. So now I'm so glad. Yes, thank you very much for saying hi to Divine. They are so happy because this means so much to us. We are giving out. We are giving out, and because you are here today, we are going to be opening up the next person that is coming up to the stage. Yes, the next person that is coming to the stage.
Hello.
All right, this is Adesola Toyin. You are welcome. You are
Thank you.
welcome. So,
Thank
yes, so
you.
before we go further, I would like to read to us her biography. I'm so excited today because you know why? A new thing is being bettered, and we have everything that you need in that direct circle. So the one you are hearing today, is just tip of an iceberg, like I said. You understand? Everybody's coming to give you things that the kind of things that you definitely see there. We are talking about how you can turn everyday routine at home into therapy. We're talking about your mental health, your mindset. Now we want to talk about finance, telling you things that are possible. When you are no longer there, what will happen? So I'll read her biography. Adesola Toyin Adesoka is a distinguished solicitor with dual UK and Nigeria qualifications and expertise in autism support. Is a respected expert and sought after speaker known for her insightful perspective on autism awareness and advocacy. As the author of Sailing on the Rainbow, a colorful journey with autism, Adesola shares her personal experience and expertise to inspire hope and understanding in others. She's an advocate that people sort of have. So when we talk about advocating for children of special needs, you just have to meet this lady in person. You know why? It's not all about you coming out on social media and say, oh, people should understand us now. They should put themselves in our shoe. We are talking about the real conversation. We're talking about the real conversation. So make welcome Adiola Tosin. She has the floor right now because she'll be taking us on the topic. She'll be taking us on the topic, the future and financial security. If I'm no longer there, planning and securing my child tomorrow. You are going to learn how to secure your child's long-term care, stability, and future through smart planning. You need to have financial structure and intentional support system. Let's hear her tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Catherine. It's interesting that the two other speakers that have spoken, they both have Ola. There's Dr. Ola and there's Dr. Omolola. And in my native dialect, Ola and Ola, they are, they represent riches of finances, and Ola represent tomorrow. And that's basically what we are talking about, you know. And I'm also Adesola, so it's interesting. And it says, if I'm not there, securing and planning for my child's tomorrow, if I'm not there, it's interesting when Dr. Adiola was speaking, was talking about the fact that many people are experiencing burnout as a result of parenting special needs child. And some of the things that can cause this burnout is the fear of tomorrow, the fear of the unknown. What happens if I'm not there? What happens? And Dr. Omolola said a lot about having routine. But what about when you are not there? That's what we want to talk about. And thank you, Coach Catherine, for making me deal with this topic, because it was also an eye opener for myself. Yesterday, I was at a webinar and they were talking about post 18 children not in college and the things that are available. And one of the things I said is that this conversation should be had when they are like 13, because when you are waiting until they are 18, it's too late, because now you are learning up, you are now working with the council, and we know what is happening in many councils. I'll talk today about United Kingdom, and so I just thought it's important for us to come with that insight, like every decision we are making today is to give us the peace of mind over our children tomorrow. If you don't prepare for those tomorrow, it's difficult not to have burnout and not to be anxious. And one of the things I learned is, okay, many of us, I know we always say it's not my portion. And so we don't think about writing a will. But I think because we are raising children that are very different, that might need more support than the rest, we have to be intentional about how we plan for the future. And one thing I learned is that even though it's good to have a will, because there are some benefits that the children might not be able to access once they have over £6,000 in their account. If you have given them an inheritance, or they get an inheritance from anyone and they have over £6,000, then you know what? All the benefits they are entitled to stops. And like they said, the squeeze middle. Even is like in this country where there's a lot of things that are means tested. So once a child has £6,000, they don't think they need. If they are getting disability living allowance, it might stop. If they are getting personal independence payments, it will also stop. So it's not really ideal to have a will. What we need is a discretionary trust. What a trust does is like a trust is like a company. The people that have the company, they are separate from the company itself. Under the law, the company is seen as having its own entity. So when we create a trust, it's like a trust. A simple way of putting it is like is a box. All the things you have, you put it in this box, and then you say, what I want is the trustees to be managing the trust. If you put it in the name, your access in the name of the child, once they have 6,000, like I said, that's the end of it. But if it's a trust, it's separate from the child. The child is still able to access all their benefits, and then you can leave something for them in the future. It's also important to have life insurance. I mean, the more I've learned about life insurance, the more I see that, it's really a way to pass on wealth. And because it keeps compounding. And when we want to have life insurance, most of us will say until they are 21. But we might have to pay a bit more to get the one that is level age. Is You just want them to have it for as long as possible, and to ask the insurance how much you can be paying. That'll give at least maybe like £1 million if you are not here. And the payment per month, I'm realizing, is like, for like half a million, is like £100 per month. So it's not something we can't plan towards. Maybe we'll just deny ourselves of, instead of taking them to McDonald's 3 times in a month, I'll take them once in time and then add money to it to have an insurance. So even if I'm not there tomorrow, they have something to fall back on. And like I said, don't put, when many of us that have life insurance, we name our children as the beneficiary, but the same issue comes up. Once they have over 6,000, they are not entitled to like housing benefits, reduction in council tax. If they were young when the person passes away, then their disability allowance is going to be stopped. So it's important for us to learn about this discretionary trust. Please, let's find out what it is. It's a long story. I've said it in a short way, like, put all your access in like this box, and let there be a trustee to handle the box for the child. So the child is benefiting from that box, but they are not the owner of the box. And because they are not the owner of the box, the government cannot tax them over it, or their benefits will not be stopped, because though they are benefiting from it, they are not the owner. And there's another thing we need to start thinking about once our children turn 18, and we should be thinking about it before they are 18, is deputyship. Deputyship is to support them. I know a lot of these things are quite technical, but they are the realities of our life. Is to support them with their welfare and health. Sometimes when a child turns 18 and they go to the GP, of course the GP doesn't expect you to come into the room with them. For you to be allowed to speak for your child, because they will tell you your child is not an adult, you need to have consent. That's, I'm supporting my child. That's basically what it is. And for their finances too, some of these children, you even need to just take out power of attorney for them, because power of attorney means they don't have capacity. I'm going to be acting for them. So you act in their place. But for some children that have some capacity, but they are still vulnerable, we have to apply to court of protection to ask for deputyship. Like, I'm going to be supporting this child, so that when even education, once they are 18, and you say, oh, I'm writing concerning my daughter about this issue, they will tell you, you need to sign a consent to share form, because you are talking about an adult. So we have to put things in place to make sure that, look, because they are 18, even though they are vulnerable, they are not left without support. So it's important for us to start thinking about these things. If there For people who have children with special needs, I'll say from like year 7, in preparing for adulthood, let's start thinking about, okay, Are they able to go to university? It's not every child that will be able to go to university. Educational health and care plan is up to 25. But for some people, they might, after like 1 or 2 years in their this college, they might say, oh, they are not making progress, and they want to cancel the plan. So we need to start looking at colleges that will support our children to make sure that they can be there for as long as possible. And even for ourselves, we might need to take out what is called lasting power of attorney. What that is if I'm not, if I don't have capacity again. uh Dr. Adeola talks about stress and all the issues that parents, especially mothers with children with special needs, they face. And it's been recognized, it's been well documented that there are a number of people in the special needs community that end up having mental health issues. So that's why it's important for us to start considering, do I need to take out a lasting power of attorney, so that even if I can't act, there's somebody who can support my child. And that person might be, okay, I'll give an example. Desire has a brother. Desire's brother is neurotypical. So it can be one of the deputy that, okay, if I'm not there or I'm not able to act, once she is over 18, you can act on her behalf to make sure that she still gets the support she needs. And there's something else we need to start thinking of writing, and it's called letter of wishes. How do we want, if I'm not there, how do we, for example, we know God forbid, but because everybody knows Desire in this place, it's easier to use her.
Mhm.
If I'm not there, what does Desire needs? So in your letter of wishes, you say Desire needs to be doing therapy. Desire needs to go on a walk regularly. What I want for Desire once she's over 18, I will want her to be living in a supported accommodation as against a residential care, so that even if you are not there, people know what to do. And many of us, are we thinking some of these children are vulnerable? They might not be able to live on their own. Divine might get married, will get married. We pray Desire gets married. For some children, marriage might not be their path. What do we want them, where do we want them to live? Do we want them to go into a residential home or supported living? It's important for now to start thinking about it. Another thing we need to think about is many of these children, they have ISA. For some children that were born here, they have that's and we might need to think, okay, they have ISA, but if I keep this money, keep building this money, once they are over 18, it might be over 6,000. Then they will not be entitled to this, their benefits again. So we might have to think of, okay, I'm going to take life insurance. I'm going to keep putting money for them, investing for them. We can look, there are many, there are different platforms where you can invest for them for shares and stock, regularly. But instead of putting it in their name, put it in the name of this trust, so that even if it's over 6,000, they don't become disadvantaged. If, like my daughter, when we had to fill the personal independence payment form, they wanted to know all the assets she had. So if she had assets over 6,000, that's the end. They won't get any support. So, but if you start thinking of working with a solicitor now to set up a trust, then they'll benefit from that trust. But because, like I said, the trust is like a company. The directors can draw salary, they can get benefits. But except where there's a major like fraud, you don't open the curtain of the company and start looking for the people that are behind the company. The company is a separate entity. So those are some of the things we need to start thinking about. And then we also need to start thinking about, okay, if I'm not there, are there people that I've spoken to that might be able to support my child? What's the community? Is there a community? Do I have sisters and brothers that I've spoken to that might be able to take over this this responsibility? And that's why it's also good to have a trust, so that even though you have told them that if you are not here, they'll be supporting your child. But the good thing is that because you now have some fund, they can be taken from that fund to continue with the therapy the child was having or the young adult was having. They can also be drawing some salary that, okay, we'll set it up in such a way that every time you take out of your own time to take the child to therapy, you can get some payments. It can be set up in that way. It's important for us to think about this because whether we like it or not, future will come. I was teasing recently. I said, when my children were young, all I used to hear was children with autism, children with autism. But you know what? The children grow up. There are people with autism. There are people with special needs, not just a child with special needs, because a lot of this thing is neurological, is the way their brain was wired. So it's not that, oh, because they are older now, the brain becomes that of a neurotypical, or the whatever situation people have found themselves, it doesn't disappear, but we can prepare for it. We can
Hmm.
prepare for it in such a way that we have we have more peace of mind, because I know that the fear of the unknown is a real fear. And I believe that it's good to start preparing from when they are young. Even regarding this issue about preparing for when I'm not there, how are we bringing them up about learning about money, no matter how little, to start teaching them themselves about money, about being independent. It's easier to want to do everything for a child with special needs because it's faster. But when we think about the fact that we want them to live, from when my children were young, I used to say something that I want them to be able to live independent life, not institutionalized life. It means we have to be intentional. When your children are growing up, start thinking from primary school, what kind of secondary school do they need to go to? What do I need to start putting in aside monthly, so that when they are older, we pray to live long. We do pray to live long, but life happens. And like I said, interestingly, all the names today were Ola, and it's the same word too for Ola. We want our children to be financially secured in their to be financially secure. That's their Ola. And we want that in their Ola. That's their tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adesola. Thank you, Tony. I'm so happy you gave us what you want to see. When we are discussing this topic, it looks as if finance. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants to hear about money. Everybody they need to give them money. Everybody needs to start saving. Everybody see you just spoke to my heart. You spoke to my heart because there are so many things I've learned in just this 15 minutes. Because when we talk about when I'm no longer there, it's preparation. It's preparation. If you don't prepare, there's no way you will be happy with yourself, because you will constantly be thinking, what will happen to my child? But when you have prepared yourself, you'll be rest assured. You just see yourself glowing, because you know why? Even if you are not there, your child will always thrive. Just like when you said, oh, we need consent, we have to look at these things. There are laws that are governing all these things. In the country where you are, it is because you don't know. There are tools that you can even use to start saving things for your child. There are people out there that you can meet that will direct you in the right line, especially as we have children with special needs. We don't need to take this lightly, because I've seen parents, they just fall down maybe because of mental health or anything. They are no more. And you begin to ask, what will become of my child? There's a story I read on Facebook. This mother, I've assisted her. I don't know her before now. She died. The child is a special needs child that has cerebral palsy. Within 3 months to 4 months, that child also died. So, what am I trying to say? Even the father was not even there to even say anything concerning the child from the story that I heard. But if there was a plan and it is there already, just as you are talking about trust, that the child or the people that are managing that particular case will be able to give out for the need of that child. Even if you are no longer there, your child will also thrive. It is because we don't know all these things, and we are not even, sometimes it looks as if it doesn't matter. But we keep crying and keep shouting that my child, who will take care of my child when I'm no more there? We are looking at just the surface, not the written. How can healing come? Healing can come when you know all these things, you know the right place to go while you are still alive. The Bible says, we are fearful and wonderfully made. We are unique people. Our children are unique. There's no place in the Bible that said these children, they were created by another God. So if God has created these children and put them in that of family, you are co-creator with God. And as a caregiver, everything that pertains to that child, you need to learn it. So when I was coming up with this private cycle mentorship program, I thought about it. I said, what parents need to learn what they need to do when they are no longer there. I came up with this financial aspect of it, and I am ready and I've already mapped out how the curriculum will go, where seasoned speakers concerning finance will be guiding you, pointing you, holding your hand. Because if you are not accountable, you can't actually do anything. You can't actually do anything. And when we talk about money, in this journey, money is, will I say, 200% important, because we need it for so many things. You are alive today. You see how the struggle is. What if you are no longer there? What will happen? It is not a time for you to begin to think about, oh, no, my child will not die, or you begin to say, no, God, it's not my portion. It will not happen to me. That is inevitable, and we need to talk about it. And that is why we are telling you nothing and nothing but the truth. I want to thank you very much for digging deep into this topic and opening our eyes to see that it is very important that we learn about how to care, even how to position our children and their lives in terms of their care when we are no longer there, by putting our finances in the right place. And I believe most of us have been blessed tonight. Thank you very much. If I'm to ask a question, I will ask questions based on what people have asked, because I dropped a form and I said, if you have any question, you can actually ask. And some people put their question down. So before you go, I'll just ask you this one question so that you just answer, and I'll bring the other speakers if they have what they want to say. Somebody is asking, he said, how can I be financially responsible? How can I be financially responsible? Because here she's saying that her greatest challenge is finance. Nobody is supporting her. The father of the child have left her. The child is a year old, and she has been the one caring for that child. Now she's asking how can she be financially responsible. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. I think sometime we need to make use of our circle, because if one is not making, I was telling someone recently, I said, okay, it's about this. In America now, they said there was a time where the government workers have to be using food bank because they are not paid their salary. And my response is that no matter how much you have, if you are not making money to top up the money you have, it's going to end. We will all be in financial strain. So I think the first thing is to seek help to get some income coming in, because it's on the income you have coming in that you can save. And sometimes it might be, okay, you are doing something, but is there any other thing you can do? Are there talents you have that you have not tapped in? Because sometimes we underestimate the power of our talents. Maybe you are somebody that you can cook well. Apart from your job, is it possible to say, my neighbors, I can help you to cook and then you pay me? But when I'm going to markets, I can go to the market for my neighbors and they'll pay me. Can you make hair? Because sometimes you have to think outside the box to be able to make more money. That's the truth. And if you don't have any money coming in, there's nothing that you can't build something on nothing. So
Mm,
look for ways to get
mm,
gainfully employed and deploy your talent to be able to make a little more. And it's when you have this that you can start thinking of saving. Thank
mm.
you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that because that was just exactly what I have in mind. Because some people will tell you, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I'm just on my own. It is the cry of most special needs parents. I used to be there because why? I just felt that this log of wood is just upon me, crying for help all the time. And this is the cry of most special needs parents. But if you look at it, everybody is going through one thing or the other. That is why we are creating the driver circle where you can come in, you can be able to learn the skills you have inside of you. Because what God has called me for is for me to help you build confidence, reclaim your identity. Because you were first you before you have that pride. You have something inside of you that the world wants to see. But the problem might be, how can you bring that your extra? How can you bring that thing that is inside of you out? So you can be sewing, you can be baking, but have you positioned yourself in a way where people can buy from you? Have you actually positioned yourself? Or you might even be selling and you are not getting customers, you are not getting clients, and you will ask yourself, why is my own different? There's something you might be doing that you are not doing well, because we can't keep doing something the same way and expect a different result. I used to be in that shoe when I was in school. I used to do different things. I was just everywhere. But it is the time where God was preparing me for a time like this. And I started thinking, how can I actually put things together and earn a living? I started learning. When somebody will gift me money, I will save and be looking for where I will put this and get myself equipped. Today, the internet is our friend. People that will hear me speak, hear all the speakers speak today, it is because they have a phone and they have data. What are you doing with those things? The last time we organized this camp and people that came, there were testimonies. I've seen people even paid for sessions, they don't even attend. A session might be free, you are not there to learn. You are looking for who will come and give you. If the person gives you today, will the person come tomorrow? It is hard already. But we always say, choose your hard. So that question, just as you have said, you need to add to what you have. It's just the right thing. Position yourself. The money you have that you say I want to use it to eat. So we say I don't even have money to eat, let alone to learn. In this life that we are, if you don't learn, wisdom is profitable to direct. If you don't learn, you will end up doing what you've been doing that is not working and expecting a different result. You will keep on doing that particular thing and you wouldn't have any result. I want to thank everyone that has been on this call today. We will be posting what you need to get into the driver. And today, what we try to do today is that because we are launching it for the first time, we are saying that those that will be able to pay today, the price is 50,000 naira for you to get into the driver's safety. If you are able to pay before midnight today, we have like 2 or 3 hours to midnight, you'll be paying 30,000 naira. After now, it is 40,000 naira in the next 1 week. But the normal price is 50,000 naira. And the session is starting January 2026. Yes, it's starting 2026. What will this thing do for you? It will help you to regain balance, have clarity, and financial stability while you are growing in faith and confidence. Yes, 5 benefits that you will have. You will regain emotional peace and inner strength. You will reduce burnout, guilt, and mental stress. We will create a structure for you, and there will be joy in your home. You will learn practical financial and caregiving tools. You will connect with a faith-driven support community. You will have full access to the Peace and Purpose Path curriculum. It's a curriculum that is so powerful. Weekly faith-focused coaching calls. Access to community of thrivers. We have people that are thriving already. I am one of them. Adesola is one of them. Free tools and resources books like journals. We have those ones, planners, checklists. Dr. Malola was talking about planner. Routines for feeding. Your child is drooling. There are plans that you will follow that will help you to parent in peace and not chaos. That is what we are bringing to you. If only you are ready to take action. Everything comes with a price. Gone are those days that people will say, special needs parents, they don't pay for their courses, they don't pay for coaching. You have never seen this kind of coaching before now. It is a 90-day group coaching and support program for parents that are raising children with special needs. You have your calling, you have a place that you want to vent, you have this, we are there for you. You will gain balance. The flyers will be out, we keep advertising till we start the program. I pray that as many that have listened to us, those that attended, I thank you very much. I thank you, my speakers. I pray that God Himself will replenish you and position you in a place where you will sit with kings and not men. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. This is where we call it a day.